Hey folks, it's King from Stay Tuned Sports, and I gotta tell you, I love energy drinks. They help give me that boost that I need to finish all my work, get through game film recaps from all of Sunday's games, and they provide that pick-me-up during a very long week. What I don't love is that crash and the jitters, the gross feeling you get with most other energy drinks. And that's why I tried Dubby, and I gotta tell you, Dubby is a game changer with flavors like Dragonade, Beach and Peach, Galaxy Grenade, and my personal favorite, the Dub Sludge. You can find your favorite or just get them all. There's no jitters, there's no crash because there's no sugar in Dubby. Plus, Dubby contains Neurofactor, an all-natural ingredient derived from coffee cherries, which has been linked to enhance brain function. You go on over to Dubby.gg right now. That's Dubby.gg to grab the best energy drink you've ever had. And if you enter the code STSports18 in all caps, you'll get 10% off your order. That's STSports18 to get 10% off of Dubby. Be better.
And hello there, all you stay tuners. Hey, listen, it might be the Eagles. I hate the Eagles. Don't get me wrong here. First quarter, keep it even. Second quarter, start running the fucking ball. Third quarter, take a power nap. Fourth quarter, oh shit, there's the rest of the game. Let's go.
Fuck it, I'm a diabetic. I will root for the team that will literally give me diabetes and death. Rooting for a team from Hershey is like a Catholic rooting for Satan. It doesn't make any sense.
This is Stay Tuned Sports, and it starts in 3, 2, 1.
And hello there, all you Stay Tuners. Welcome back to another episode of Stay Tuned Sports. It's your good friend Jimbo here with our good buddy King.
Hey, how you doing, brother?
Pretty good. How about yourself?
I'm doing great. We got the Giants, got our quarterback, got our running back for next year. Let's go. Set. Excited for that. And of course, we're in the midst of NFL free agent. Well, it's not quite free agency yet, but it's the certified tampering period still. I believe free agency starts by the time this gets released, it will have started on Wednesday.
Yeah.
So that'll be there. But for now, yeah, I mean, all the deals are technically getting done now. As we're doing this, still no word yet on Aaron Rodgers, but still a lot of things going down. A lot of people making moves and trying to get better. Some people are getting laughed at for their moves or lack of moves, but at the end of the day, fun times. Silly season in the NFL is always fun.
And it sounds like it's not going to be the Jets no more. It sounds like it's going to be the New York Green Bay Packers. The latest report came out that Aaron Rodgers sent the Jets a list of receivers he wants them to go after.
Well, he sent him a list of his quote unquote wish list. So it's not a demand. It's not like demands. And it's just like, and we already know that the Jets were talking to Lazard.
Yeah, that would be a big pickup.
So the Jets getting Lazard. I believe he said he would like Randall Cobb there too. We'll see how that works out. Again, he's not going to get everybody on that list.
Yeah.
And again, that's something that I believe he previously said on Pat McAfee's show. Was like, he's not, if he does go somewhere, whether he stays in Green Bay, whether he goes somewhere else, whatever, like he's not gonna sit there and hold the place hostage. And not only that, the Jets have weapons. They have. Again, they have the offensive rookie of the year.
That's what I was going to say.
So they have talent on that team. You add Lazard there with Aaron Rodgers, I mean, that'll be good. Plus, Odell Beckham Jr. was on that list as well.
Yeah, but you see what he's asking for?
Well, that's why when you look at it, I don't know if the Jets will have the space. Like, I don't know how they would make that work.
Yeah.
So that's, again, it's a wish list. So again, it would be nice, but so obviously some things you wish for that you just don't get.
Yeah.
So we'll see. We'll see how it goes. Sorry if you can hear my dishwasher in the background. But, hey, listen, I got to do the dishes at some point here. But I'm intrigued to see how this goes down, and that's the other thing too. I think it's all but done when it comes to Aaron Rodgers. Everybody's like, oh, is he going to say? Oh, nobody signed with the Jets yet. Oh, Trey Wingo said it was all done, but nothing's come out yet. Oh my God. Here's the deal. I think it's done. I think he wants to do the announcement on his own terms. Listen, the guy's a hippie. He's a diva. We all know that. It's, it is what it is. Is it kind of an old shtick? Yeah, but when you're Aaron Rodgers and you won the MVP back-to-back 2 out of the last 3 years, you know what? You can kind of get away with it.
Yeah. Yeah, he earned that right.
Yeah, that's what I mean. I'm sorry. People can bitch about it all they want, and as is their right too. They can bitch about it, but at the end of the day, Aaron Rodgers has earned the ability to do that, to pull a LeBron. But even so, he's still not as obnoxious as LeBron. Don't get me wrong.
Yeah.
I'm going to take my talents to East Rutherford, New Jersey, Florham Park, home of the New York Jets. But I'm intrigued, and I mean, this immediately makes the Jets, I think, a Super Bowl contender, not a contender, but a favorite.
Yeah.
I think it does simply because of the fact that Jets have pieces in place. They have a defense, a solid defense, good Pro Bowlers. Again, you have the defensive rookie of the year there as well, with Sauce, who had his own little seance and burning of the cheese head to try to get Aaron Rodgers going. That's another thing too. When you see the Jets players and how they're reacting to, oh my God, we can get Aaron Rodgers. It's like, they know they're on the cusp.
Yeah.
The only thing the Jets almost made the playoffs last year.
Yeah.
Without a quarterback. Zach Wilson just wasn't there.
Yeah.
Even when he was there, he wasn't there. And Mike White, God bless his heart, he could do a lot, and he played well, and he did his best. But then he also had, 5 broken fucking ribs or whatever.
Yeah.
After that Buffalo game. So it becomes, again, the Jets almost made the playoffs and they didn't have a quarterback. Now you're going to put not only a quarterback, but a first ballot Hall of Famer, still has it, MVP 2 of the last 3 years on that team. I mean, and now you look at the AFC East. Holy shit, because the Dolphins have been making moves.
Yeah.
They traded for Jalen Ramsey from the Rams.
Which to me, he's not the same player he used to be, but he's still a top tier.
It's still
corner.
A good pickup, and it's still a move.
And for what they gave up,
it's still a move that indicates that they are trying to win. They're going to go in to the season, and they're not fucking around. They're not going to be like, oh, well, we'll get what we can get and see how the team goes. They're like, listen, we are going to put forward an effort to win a division and get into the playoffs, go deep in the playoffs, and try to get to the Super Bowl. It's, that AFC East has everybody trying to get to the Super Bowl now, except for the Patriots.
Yeah, they're just.
This is the first time in a long time. This is the first time in a long time I think we've been able to say this, but it feels like the Patriots are going to be the bottom dwellers in that division.
Yeah. Yeah,
not just because of the moves, not just because of free agency moves.
No,
not just because of free agency moves. I mean, because how many teams have we seen, quote unquote, win free agency, and then they get into the season and they're fucking 4-12.
Yeah,
that happens more times than I care to count. But that's not the reason why. They have a lot of holes. They have a lot of problems. They lost Jacoby and Myers. The wonderful law firm there. I actually called him Jacoby and Myers. I went to say Jacoby Myers, and I couldn't get the fucking law firm out of my head. But I don't care. He is Jacoby and Myers forever. So he's gone. I think he's to the Raiders.
Yeah.
I believe. The Raiders picked up Garoppolo, which it appears Devontae Adams isn't happy about.
Yeah.
But again, he's kind of stuck now too. Like, you'd sit there and think, oh, maybe they can get traded to the Jets. But again, the Jets only have so much cap room, and you have to remember, even with a restructured contract, you're going to have to add Aaron Rodgers in there.
Yeah.
And they also get Lazard, so they got 1 or 2 more pieces the Jets could add. They're not going to be able to add a Devontae Adams. They're not going to be able to add an Odell Beckham, as we were talking before. Like, that's not going to happen. So he's kind of stuck. there. But that also like that's telling me too. Like, listen, Aaron Rodgers is going to the Jets.
Yeah.
I mean, unless there is something catastrophic that happens, unless like Woody Johnson comes out and says, all right, no weed, no hallucinogens at all once you sign the contract. Like, unless it's like some dumb shit like that, it's just like, we are a drug-free facility. And cut your hair, hippie. Like, unless it like some shit like that happens, and then Aaron's like, no, like this is the deal. Aaron Rodgers is going to be a New York Jet, because if he's not, then what else is out there? Because now you have Garoppolo on the Raiders, Derek Carr's down in the Saints, and also big move by the Saints just happened a couple hours ago. They picked up Michael Thomas is signing back with the Saints.
Oh, really?
For 1 year. Yeah, I didn't think that was going to happen, but there we go. Ian Rappaport broke that not too long ago. So we have that. So the Saints pick him up. So Carr has a weapon now. He's got some weapons. Whatever happens with Kamara and that criminal proceedings or whatever the hell's going on with him, or who knows, or if I think he also asked for a trade, maybe too. I have no idea. You have Austin Eckler from the Chargers asking for a trade, and
that one I was surprised about.
Me a little bit too, but I mean, Eckler might see the writing on the wall and is just like, I don't want to be on a team with Braden Staley. I saw this coach us out of winning a playoff game.
Yeah,
we're up 27-0, and I saw this motherfucker coach us out of winning a 27-0 playoff game, and we lost. And they still didn't fire that motherfucker.
And I think
they got rid of everybody else but him.
The thing with his contract is he's so underpaid, someone will make an offer to trade for him too. Because that's like, how this all boiled down was.
I guess love that. Listen, all that motherfucker does is score touchdowns.
Yeah,
all he does is score touchdowns.
He ran.
I would want him on my team. Yeah,
he ran Melvin Gordon out of San Diego, and Gordon was a beast at that time.
Los Angeles, by the way, they have moved. They've been
Los Angeles
Chargers for what, 7 years now? 6?
Yeah, still don't get used to it.
It is still a crime. They belong in San Diego. They are San Diego. The fact that Spanos fucked them over and brought them to LA to be basically the Jets of Los Angeles.
Yeah.
And play second fiddle there, which is terrible because nobody gives a shit about the Rams either.
Yeah.
Like, you have two football teams in LA. Nobody gives a shit about either one of them, but the Chargers are the one that people give less of a shit about. And then you have a market that lived and breathed the fucking Chargers, and you moved them out of there because, they didn't build us a stadium. Well, they didn't want to do that. And, of course, they move, and what do? They knock down that one stadium and build a beautiful, I think it's about a 35,000 capacity stadium down there for the San Diego State University football team.
Okay.
Snapdragon Stadium, beautiful stadium. But here you go. You know what I mean? It's like, if you could have just worked with them. But the Spanoses are, I think, one of the poorest owners in the league. Now, again, we use poor as a relative term here.
Yeah, they're only making $1 billion a year.
I think they only have like $1 billion or like $1.5 billion there, which, as NFL owners go, is not great. Which means that most of their value, most of their equity is caught up in the football team. So, like, they don't have the means that maybe some other teams do to, we'll put $500 million towards it, because you're talking about like 50% of any of their liquid assets.
Yeah.
But they don't have that ability to do that. So, I'm part of it. I get it. But on the other hand, it's like, listen, you can work out some financial dealings and get something done, but they were clearly just we want everyone to pay. We pay for it. Everybody, we want everybody else to pay for it, and so they did it. And so they saw Kroenke building the stadium up in LA, and we're like, well, he's paying for that, so we'll just move on in, and then, but that's the other thing too. Then they have to give half their revenue to him anyway. Yeah. So I don't know, silly, kind of nuts, kind of stupid, but
the one thing that before I say. Any surprising moves on my part, Philly fans, calm the fuck down, okay? I've been seeing a lot of Philly fans, come on, Howie, do something. That's what happened to us in 2018 after the Super Bowl. We all bitched, Howie, do something, and he re-signed all the players, and then we proceeded to go. What 4-12 or
Guys fucking imploded.
imploded?
You had people on that team talking about, oh, we're setting the blueprint for how NFL teams are made, and then you guys fucking shit the bed for the next 4 years. Like that was not great. It wasn't great.
But I mean,
and then you blamed Howie anyway. So Howie got shit on both ends. Yeah.
I am happy that Brandon Graham and Jason Kelsey came back. We had like 13 or 14 free agents going into free agency, and I obviously we can't re-sign all of them. But there was maybe, I'd say 5 or 6 that I was like, man, I really hope we get these guys. And Brandon Graham and Jason Kelsey were 2 of them. And kudos to Brandon Graham, taking basically a $6 million pay cut to come back. I wish I could be able to take that type of pay cut and still make good money.
Yeah, it's like, you know what, guys? I can leave $6 million on the table. Really? Oh, okay.
But did you see the video of Jason Kelsey and Howie Roseman when Kelsey told him he's coming back?
I tend not to pay attention to Philadelphia Eagles shit. So, no, I did not see that.
So, imagine me drunk on my birthday, being all excited that you showed up as a surprise, and how giddy I get.
Right.
That's how Howie Roseman was. And it's so funny to see this like monstrous of a man in Jason Kelsey standing next to 100-pound soaking wet Howie Roseman. I'm like, he could just throw you through like 5 walls without batting an eye.
We're getting close. I mean, Kelsey's getting up there, though.
Yeah,
so we're going to have to see how effective he is. I would love to see the Giants pick up Slay. Now that he's out there in the free agent market, we'll see who picks him.
He's not a free agent, but
well, I mean, he's
looking for trades.
From what I saw, I thought he was a free agent the way they made it sound, because it seems like he is done in Philadelphia.
That part does sound
how that's put out. So that he's I've already seen, people talking about, may he go back to Detroit now that Detroit looks good.
Yeah.
Go to the Giants with something like that happen. So I don't know what the situation is with Slay. I could have sworn I saw he was a free agent. If not, that's on me. Again,
there's a lot of he said, she said between the Eagles and Slay. Supposedly, Howie Roseman told Slay, asked him to take a pay cut. Obviously, Slay said no. Roseman said, well, then go look for a trade. So that's what Darius Slay did. He put some feelers out there, and then the reports got out, Slay's looking for a trade. Well, not really. I mean, the Eagles told him to go look for the trade. So it's kind of both ends there, not just one-sided. But if we did get rid of Slay, we have to go after Bradbury or get Garner back here, because to go into next season with no quality cornerbacks, it's going to suck.
Okay, I see this. Yeah, no, that he had. Well, that's the other thing too. Well, that kind of puts a kibosh on that, because there's no way the Eagles would fucking trade him in the division. So,
yes, I mean, unless you gave us like a first rounder. I mean, we're not that stupid.
No, that feels like one of those things where, like, the Devils and Rangers, like, they don't trade.
Yeah.
They don't, like, it's one of those things, like, listen, there's just certain teams or clubs that we don't trade with. Giants don't trade with Eagles. Eagles don't trade with Giants. We don't trade with the Cowboys, shit like that, not just because you hate them, but because it doesn't make sense to trade somebody that you think is still good but doesn't want to be there, or whatever the case is. You don't want to give anybody in the division any kind of advantage.
Yeah.
Over you in any way, shape, or form. So, like, I get that. Like, damn, I would love to have him on a team. The Giants do need a cornerback or two.
I mean, you got Bradbury out there. He's a very honest man.
He is an honest man, especially when he held the Chiefs and cost you guys a chance to go back down the field and see if you could win a Super Bowl.
Speaking of the Chiefs.
Although, thank you, James Bradbury, always a Giant. See, once a Giant, always a Giant. Thank you, Bradbury, for crossing the Eagles. That's well, that's. I mean, honestly, it's one of the best plays I've ever seen done by a New York Giant. Thank you very much. By the way, I just needed to get that out there again. What are you, a month and a half past it, but don't care.
So, speaking of the Chiefs and that infamous holding call and stuff, did you happen to see what some of the rule changes proposals are, or no?
I've heard a couple things. I haven't really dove into it. I heard people bitching about the fucking QB sneak shit. Like Peter King needs to shut the fuck up.
Yeah.
Peter King needs to shut the fuck up. That's not football. That's rugby. First of all, football kind of comes from rugby. Second of all, you want to take the fucking QB sneak out of the game? Get the fuck out of it. Shut the fuck up. Oh, well, they push people from behind. It makes it almost an undefensible. Well, too bad. Learn a way to defend it or fucking do it. Like, listen, if it's 4th and 1, fucking go for it.
Yeah.
And I've still seen teams fuck it up.
Yeah.
But just because, just because you have a quarterback look at the NFC East just in general. You have fucking, obviously you have, why am I blanking on his fucking name?
For what team?
Jalen Hurts.
Okay.
I don't know why I couldn't remember his
Wow.
name.
Well, of all players, he's the one that perfected this one this past year.
But I'll tell you have Jalen Hurts. You have Daniel Jones. You have teams that have the quarterbacks that can basically, it's an automatic QB sneak. You're getting that yard and a half.
Yeah.
That you need to get something like that. Dak Prescott to an extent, which the Cowboys for some reason didn't use a lot of him in those situations, which didn't make sense, but whatever. But you have now in this age of the more highly athletic quarterback, the quarterback that can squat 600 pounds like Hurts.
Yeah.
Or that there's Daniel Jones who are fucking 8 foot tall that can just reach over and fucking score. Things like that. Like, I'm sorry, that's part of the game. Like, the QB sneak is part of football. Now you want to get rid of it because you think there's one specific team, in this case the Eagles, that have an advantage on it. But this is an advantage that everybody's. I mean, this is an advantage that the Bills have with Josh Allen. This is an advantage that the Chiefs have with Patrick Mahomes. This is an advantage that the Chargers have with Justin Herbert. This is an advantage that a team like even the Steelers have with Kenny Pickett.
Yeah.
If you have that quarterback, you have that offensive line, you have a running back behind him that can push him or do anything like that. And then on top of that, then you can always do play action where you make everybody think you're going to fucking do it. Naked bootleg, which is, by the way, my favorite fucking play in the NFL, which I don't think is used nearly enough in certain goal line situations. That makes that play that much more effective. You take away the QB sneak, now you get rid of the fear of the defense of the QB sneak working, so they can actually put more people out there, and that negates then a naked bootleg.
Yeah.
So now you're making listen, leave the shit alone. Just leave shit alone.
And that's the thing is, I mean, quarterback sneak's been around forever. I mean, I can't remember when it started. It's been so long, and I
don't know. I think the rule changed, but here's the thing: the rule changed in college. I think this is where people conflate it. The rule changed in college. I don't think it was ever a rule in the NFL that you couldn't push somebody from behind to advance them.
Yeah.
In college, it was with I know you remember the notorious Bush push as I do.
Yeah.
Right, but then college football changed the rules and said a couple years later and said, okay, that can now be legal. But in the NFL, I don't think that was ever illegal.
Yeah.
And now people are, I see people trying to make the argument like, well, they only just made that rule legal a couple of years ago. No. That was college football that made that.
Yeah.
Rule. NFL, you've always been able to do it. So that's even another thing where it's like doing that, pushing somebody from behind to advance them and advance the ball. You can't pull somebody.
Yeah.
That's illegal. But you can push the fuck out of them if you want. Because I remember, that's been something as a kid I've always remembered is with a quarterback sneak. If you get the quarterback in there and you see the fucking running back and fullback trying to fucking jam themselves right up his ass, looking like, oh, that's a little rough. I don't know. I don't know what I'm witnessing right now. But hey, listen, you do what you got to do for that yard. You know what I mean?
even when I play Madden, I hit stick my running back up to the quarterback to get that extra yard.
Right. You're just, this is just a part of football.
Yeah.
So for somebody like Peter King, who is...
Well, it's not just him, too. Sean Payton's another one that wants it changed.
No, but the one I'm going to focus on is Peter King because he's a part of the media and he's been around forever. He's somebody who people respect. They respect his opinion. When you think of like an NFL media guy, you do think of Peter King. Anyway, when it comes to stuff like that. But, I was surprised when I was watching him on a Dan Patrick show And when he said that, and he was like, I think, they got to do something and they got to get rid of it, get it out of the game. This isn't football. This is more akin to rugby. And that's not what I'm here to watch. I'm here to watch football. And I was like, what is more football than fucking that shit? I mean, listen, the American game grew out of rugby, and American football and rugby grew out of what football, like the three sports that you think of when you think about football, aka soccer,
okay,
which is what the English have, association football. Then you have rugby football, which came out of that, and then you have American/Canadian football, which came out of that. So I mean, there's a progression there. So still having that in the game where it's kind of a scrum and you get something like that, and it's big push and violent. You're like, yes, keep that in the game. Keep that part in the game. Have it be a little bit of in the trenches, a little bit of football still left there. Like so much of the game has been taken over by finesse and beautiful passes down on the sideline, one-handed catches, super amazing ballet-like athleticism, which is great.
Yeah.
And should be featured and exalted and everything like that. But part of the game of football, too, is being down in the trenches and fighting for that inch, fighting for that yard.
And that's the thing. It's no matter how much they try to change and take stuff away, it's always going to be a violent sport. And, obviously smashing heads when you go to do
that'll be the way that they're they're saying right now, as we're seeing it right now, like they're saying like we want to get rid of it because we think it's an unfair advantage.
Yeah.
Peter King and Sean Payton and people like that. The way they're going to do it, though, is they're going to say player safety. They're going to say, for the safety of our players, we're going to get rid of the quarterback sneak because we want to make sure that our players are safe from concussions, safe from any sort of other injuries that can come from something like that. So we're going to go ahead and in the name of player safety, we're going to go ahead and it's going to be fucking bullshit because it's going to have nothing to do with player safety. It's going to be people wanting to go ahead and just get rid of it because they think the Eagles or the Chiefs or like 4 or 5 teams have an unfair advantage against everybody else. And they're going to say, no, we're going to get rid of this game. How do we get rid of it? Or we can't just say, oh, well, we think it's an unfair advantage because people are going to say, well, fucking get better defenses.
Yeah.
So how do we get rid of it? The all-encompassing player safety. Hey, it's all about player safety. And it'll get fucked. So, but this is one case where you'll see me actually on the side of Eagles fans too, because, again, this isn't – it's being presented as kind of an anti-Eagles take, but it's not. To me, it's an anti-football take. Leave the fucking quarterback sneak alone. Leave it alone.
Now, I mean,
also the Giants are good at it too. So leave it the fuck alone.
We don't get many good things out of this, but let's have this one.
It's good though.
But as far as, I mean, I guess they could review the rules throughout the year, right? Or is it just one and done, like once a year?
It's usually once and done. They look at something before the year, they'll implement it, and then it's implemented for the year, and then they'll review at the end of the year and change it. Like with the pass interference review, like could you review that?
Yeah.
And the referees completely fucked that up for everybody because they refused to overturn any pass interference calls. Because
the QB sneak, I just looking now, is not one of the rule proposals to be looked at. So I'm assuming it's going to be there to stay for at least this season, upcoming season. But the one rule that I guess me and you kind of talked about over the past couple weeks, they finally want to have roughing the passers either reviewed or.
That's another one I heard is that they want to have the roughing the passer.
I think that one has to be, and like we've said, all they have to do is do what XFL does. Have that extra replay eyes or whatever, Dean Belindo, up there looking at it. And if he sees it, buzz down, stop the play, and get it right.
Did you say Dean Blandino?
Yeah, that guy.
And you said Ding Badingo?
Yeah, sure. Listen,
this is another point that somebody brought up too when talking about that, like the XFL replay system, and will the NFL ever adopt that, or some other stuff from the XFL? Will they ever adopt it? And the point that they brought up, and I think unfortunately it's true, is that the NFL will never be that open. They will never have the ability to look into the replay booth or hear the conversation between the ref and a replay official or anything. The NFL will never do that.
Yeah.
They will never do that ever in their entire history. So that's unfortunate, because I think that's a great thing. They also said they don't think the NFL will ever adopt the kickoff. And, we don't want them to. I don't like that. I like the XFL kickoff personally, because you actually get fucking kickoffs now.
You get kickoffs and player safety. You're not getting that full force of a 40, 50-yard head start.
Right. Not only that, and then the other thing too is, like, if you kick it, you have to make sure that you kick it within that 20-yard, 25-yard, like if you kick it into the end zone, the touchback brings it to the 35.
Yeah.
If you kick it out of bounds, it goes to the 35. Like, it doesn't, like you make it to where you want the kick, you want to return, you want to have a part of the game, and that to me is a good rule and a good idea to get some kind of excitement back into the kickoff. Because right now kickoffs are just out of the end zone. Like they're what the extra point was fucking 7 years ago. It was a useless play.
Yeah.
Moving the extra point back is, I think, one of the better things the NFL ever did, because now the extra point isn't a gimme. It's not a guarantee. And
just ask Dallas Cowboys.
Well, gee, breaking news. Breaking news. We don't get to break a lot of news here, but there is breaking news. The Las Vegas Raiders are trading Darren Waller.
Really?
To the New York Giants.
Shut the fuck up.
Darren Waller has been traded from the Las Vegas Raiders to the New York Giants. Just coming out now, thanks to the Pat McAfee show on Twitter.
Okay, so you know how roughly about 15 minutes ago I just pleaded with Philly fans to let Howie do his thing? Howie, fucking do something.
Howie, come on, Howie, do something.
I mean, Darren Waller's not Rob Gronkowski, but he's a top 3 tight end, and that's a fucking weapon and a half for Daniel Jones.
Huge tight end pickup for the Giants. That's huge for Daniel Jones.
You brought Sterling Shepard back. Well, reportedly so far.
No, I believe it's a 1-year deal. We got him back. So we have Hodgins back on, I think, $800,000.
Yeah.
We got Shep back. Hopefully we do pick up one or two other people. I mean, again, this is wishful thinking. DeAndre Hopkins is out there to maybe trade for. I think who else is not? Is it T. Higgins is out there for Cincinnati?
His name was floating around, but that's been kind of quiet for a week or two now.
He wants to get. Well, this is the other thing too, is that Cincinnati can't pay everybody.
Yeah.
So there's going to be some on the market. I would have liked to have what's his face from Carolina, but they traded him to the Bears for the number 1 pick.
I'll tell you what, man. The Bears, they got a deal and a half there. Just that DJ Moore kid alone.
DJ Moore, that was it.
Yeah.
That's why I wanted the Giants to pick him up during the trade deadline last year, because he wanted to get the fuck out of Carolina.
Yeah.
And the Giants, obviously, they didn't have the cap space. They didn't have a lot to do. So I get that. But, I mean, and you know how I feel about quote-unquote draft capital. It's like, okay, congratulations, you got the number 1 pick. There's not really a consensus number 1 quarterback. You could do well, or you could, swing. You could get a fucking Dwayne Haskins.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? God rest his soul. Like you don't know what you're gonna hit. Like that's the thing. I remember when Giants fans were talking about, they wanted to have Dewey Haskins more than they wanted to have Daniel Jones when they were booing Daniel Jones. Oh, we want Haskins. I'll tell you what, I'd much rather have fucking Daniel Jones.
Well, of course you would.
Not for the obvious reasons. Stop. We're not going to do distasteful jokes. But Haskins was not. Now, granted, he was on an extremely dysfunctional fucking organization.
Yeah.
Don't get me wrong. But overall, I think he was a better quarterback. Now, and that the unfortunate thing about that whole situation too is that he was working out, he was doing more camps, more reps, working out with other NFL players, trying to get better and better himself when that unfortunate accident happened with him.
Yeah.
And that's the heartbreaking thing about it, because who knows what might have been. Like, he might have been improved himself and gotten so much better. But
let's
again, with the draft, you don't know what you have. But the Bears, you know what you have with DJ Moore.
Yeah.
And you're adding him now to that team. The Bears are starting to put pieces into place. And plus, then you also got draft capital, too. You got the 9th pick in the draft now this year. You get the Panthers' #1 pick next year and in 2024.
Yeah.
Or 2025, because it's their 9th pick this year. I think they get another pick this year or something. They got DJ Moore. They get the 1st in 2024 and a 1st or a 3rd in 2025 or something.
Yeah.
So, like, not only do you get an actual tangible piece, but now you also get the quote-unquote valuable draft capital that they can use to fucking trade away and get better, who knows what happens. But, for the first time in a long time, the Bears are making smart moves.
And that's
a very interesting situation.
That's why I have to laugh at some of the Bears fans on Twitter and everything saying that I think the GM's last name is Pohl. And they're like, oh, Pohl finally woke up after 5 years, or, just totally making fun of him that he's finally making moves. But also and not just that trade alone. I mean, he's signing players. But like we said, we're not going to know until the season starts, because how many times have we seen a lot of these teams do big spending sprees, like last year with the Patriots, spending over like $200 million or whatever it was, and they didn't really pay off. So, I know you are more about the if I know what you could do now, I'll sign you, rather than let's take a risk at a draft pick.
It's a lottery. It's a lottery when you do that.
But I mean, free agency is kind of too. Probably not as much as the draft, but I definitely think San Fran signing Hargrave, they way overpaid him. As much as I wanted him to stay with Philly, but I'm sorry, no defensive lineman is worth $20+ million a year, and that's what he got. Same thing with Daniel Jones.
They also got Sam Darnold. Good for them.
How about going back to the Commanders of how well they're ran? How about Heineke going to the Falcons?
Good for him.
And as a backup,
I don't know if he's going to be the starter there or not. And if he is, if that's what they're going to go with, I still think they're probably going to try to get Lamar. But good for Heineke.
They already said that the kid from last year that came in late last year that took over for Mariota, he is the training camp starter, but they don't know what they got in him. So this way, it's kind of like another situation that Heineke was in with Washington.
At the end of the day, St. Louis Battlehawk legend Taylor Heineke can, he's still picking up a couple $1 million in an NFL check.
And kudos to the Battlehawk fans too for showing up.
Dude, I'll tell you what, it's been. We're talking about 3 years now to the day that the world shut down because of COVID, and the XFL died, and still, just this past Sunday, the Battlehawk fans showed up. 38,000
and to
showed up to the Battle Dome.
To see the picture of the fans in the stadium, I'm like, there's more fans in that stadium than a Chargers game.
No, absolutely. And every single one of them was a Battlehawks fan. Every single one. That place was loud. It was great. They were chanting "Kroenke sucks," which is kind of funny. And it was like that's what if I'm the XFL, that's what I'm pushing St. Louis and I'm pushing DC. Look at these places. This is what we want. This is how it should be. Beer snakes and loud crowds and lemons on the field and fuck your team and this past owner who fucked us sucks and all this. Like that's what you want. You want that atmosphere, and that's what it was. It was a fun atmosphere.
That's the other thing about the DC team. I gotta laugh, and I like before their game, the DC Defenders put out on Twitter, here are the rules of the beer snake. As basically, there was like 5 or 6 rules, just typical rules. As long as you don't break them, you guys could keep your cups. And I was like, if this is the NFL, they're screaming as soon as you got 2 cups in there, you throw them away and blah, blah, blah. And they're kind of saying, go ahead and do it. Just behave about it.
Well, no, because they took the cups away the one time, and then the field got covered in fucking lemons. And then when they scored on, I think it was not this week, but the week before when they were playing the Battlehawks there, they started chanting, "We want lemons."
I missed that one.
I'm sorry. It's fun to watch.
Yeah.
Some of the games. Maybe you watch the whole game. Maybe you don't. Maybe you watch bits and pieces. Maybe there's games that are more fun to watch. Usually the games that are DC, that are St. Louis. Houston's a very good team. That there are certain games that I think that are more fun to watch than others, where the crowd is more involved and more with it. But at the end of the day, you know what? It's still just a fun thing to watch at a time when a lot of things are dead. Yeah, you got hockey. Devils are looking good. Fucking shut out the Hurricanes the other day. Tops in the division. Let's fucking go, baby. The Flyers fired their general manager. But hey, listen, you're making progress. You got rid of Chuck Fletcher, so there's progress there. So
more to come.
But and now we got fucking boring ass baseball starting up. Like there's really nothing going on. There's nothing wrong with having the XFL and enjoying it. And people like to shit on it. But they shit on it and don't even give it a shot. Oh, I'm not watching that fucking shit. Why not? It's fucking football.
And the thing that I take away the most so far from the bits and pieces of the games I've seen is you could tell these guys are playing their hearts out, playing like this is our last chance. Because, some of the hits they do, holy shit, man. I haven't seen hits like that in 20 years.
Okay, I got to ask you something here quick. Okay. We're going to go back to the trade here, to the Darren Waller trade. And I want you to tell me how you feel about the compensation for Darren Waller. The New York Giants traded for Darren Waller a 3rd-round pick, and that is it.
Honestly, I think that's fair for both teams.
Think that's good?
Yeah, obviously it's good for you. You guys got a very good tight end and a 3rd-round pick. Well, I'm assuming this year's draft.
I can't. All I see is 3rd-round pick. I'm assuming it is this year's draft.
Okay. Players like DeAndre Hopkins and like star players, they're not going to get 1st-round draft picks for them. 2nd, 3rd. That's where those picks come in. I think it's actually really fair for both teams. The Giants got to do something fair because they got ripped off with fucking Daniel Jones.
I got people saying that the Raiders got fleeced, but here's the thing: I think if the Raiders asked for any more, there wouldn't be a trade.
Yeah.
So
if they were asked, the Giants probably would have just hung up without even saying goodbye.
So you have that. Patrick Peterson to the Steelers is an interesting. The Steelers defense is just getting better.
My sister texted me this morning about that, and I said, he's same. I think he's in the same boat as Jalen Ramsey. He's not the cornerback that he once was, but he's still a top player. And she said that he posted a picture either on Instagram or Twitter of him wearing the number 7 Steelers jersey, and everybody. She said half the fan base is cheering for him, the other half is reaming him out because it's number 7. Like,
I saw that he actually posted a tweet this morning saying, okay, Steelers fans, I get it. 7 is off the table. Don't worry about it.
But yeah, that defense is going to be looking good too.
It's also good too. Like if he wants to meet women around the Pittsburgh area, it's good that he won't have the 7 on. It won't be.
I thought we said we're not going to do tasteless jokes.
That's not a tasteless joke. That's facts. This is facts.
Allegedly.
No, listen. These are things we know. Like allegedly. Okay. Here's the thing. All right. I'm sorry. It's not truly facts, I suppose, but allegedly what happened is that Ben Roethlisberger had 2 of his bodyguards watch a restroom door in a bar as he allegedly brought a drunk female into that bathroom, closed the door, locked the door, barred her access from leaving the bathroom, and then proceeded to allegedly have unwanted, non-consensual sex with her. There's another name for that, but I don't want to say that because I don't know if Podbean or somebody will ban us or get everything like that. But you know what? It begins with R, ends with ape. It's not great. It's not a great look. So, I find it funny that Pittsburgh fans cheer and root for that man, but still have the ability to make fun of Deshaun Watson for asking the wrong girls for a rub and tug. It's a little interesting. Their kind of moral compass on that kind of behavior and situation. But I will leave that at that, and so I'm sure that's a question to better ask your sister. But,
let me get your opinion about this. And I purposely didn't bring this up at any of the points during the week with you. Do you think there's collusion going on with Lamar?
No, I just think it's the fact that the NFL owners are like, we don't give guaranteed contracts. We don't. And just because Jimmy Haslam was a fucking idiot and decided to give a fucking guaranteed contract to Deshaun Watson, which they've already reworked for this year to get cap space. So that's pretty funny. But because one owner did something extremely fucking stupid, doesn't mean the rest of the owners have to then follow that. That's not how that works. That's not collusion. That's just doing business.
And here's my side of it too, is with Lamar being tagged like that, it's not like Lamar could accept any deal. The Ravens have the right to match it. So he still could get 100% guaranteed.
That's the point. No, because that's the point, is that the Ravens won't do that. So if somebody does offer him a guaranteed deal, then the Ravens will be like, okay, we'll get the fuck out then, enjoy it. And not only that, I think the relationship is too far gone on both ends. For that, I think the Ravens feel like he fucking quit on them and abandoned them, especially in the playoff game where he was able to play, and he just didn't. And I think Lamar feels disrespected in some way because of what's going on. See, the lesson I think that needs to be learned here is don't be your own agent, no matter what you do.
Yeah.
Whether you're an actor, if you're an athlete, if you're a radio personality, if you're anything like that, where you have to deal with lawyers and businesses and contracts and shit like that. The point is like Lamar Jackson grew up his life to be a quarterback. He is trained to be a quarterback, a football player. That is what he's meant to be. He's not meant to be an agent. He's not meant to look through legal documents and legalese and what is this and what is subsection 2 of paragraph 3 mean legally. Like that's not who he is.
Yeah.
So what you do is that you hire people who have spent their life being that person, reading legalese, knowing what all the subsections of paragraphs and clauses and all that other shit. What you pay them, their commission, their percentage of whatever it is. Yeah, you lose a little bit of that contract because you have to pay them whatever it is, 6%, 10%, whatever the fuck it is. I don't know, depending on who your agent is.
Yeah.
But that's why you do that. And it then insulate yourself too from those negotiations, which can get heated, which can produce bad blood, which certain things can be said where you can feel like, well, I feel disrespected, or they're being disrespectful to me, or one side is the other, and you feel, all that kind of stuff. You insulate yourself from that. You insulate the team from that. You insulate the fans from that. And then it's not you having that direct face-to-face with management. It's your agent that deals with all the bad shit and bad words. Well, we don't think he's worth, because that's the other thing too. Like, you have to hear certain things when you're going through those kind of negotiations. Like, we feel he's worth this, or this. We don't think he's worth that.
Yeah.
And you as a person, which is a normal feeling when you hear somebody say, well, we don't think you're worth this. Well, you say, oh, I'm not worth this. Well, fuck you then. It's a natural reaction to have. The other great thing about having an agent is that the agent's not going to get personally upset if somebody tells them, well, we don't think your client is worth this, or this. We think he's that. It's like, well, I do think my client is worth this, or this. So how about we try to look to see if we can get somewhere in the middle here, or push something like this, or get something like that. They're not instantly hurt or on the defensive or emotionally damaged by that kind of stuff. Whereas when you're acting like as your own agent, like Lamar is, you get this kind of situation. At the end of the day, especially now, like, you look at contracts that even aren't fully guaranteed. Like, look at that fucking Kyler Murray contract. That is immediate buyer's remorse from the Cardinals. Immediate. They are paying that man hundreds of millions of dollars And if you asked them right now today if they would have done that contract last year, the fact that they had the clause in there that he had to do at least 4 hours of film study a week that they eventually pulled out because everybody started questioning it. But the fact that had to be in there means that shouldn't have been there in the first place. I don't know what the fuck they were thinking. I mean, the GM left for quote unquote health reasons, but I think the health reasons was that contract gave him fucking acid reflux.
Wasn't the GM the one that got arrested for hitting on a girl at a bar? We'll call it, or was
I don't think so.
Or was that a coach? I remember there was something with the Arizona personnel person.
I actually have no recollection of that, so I don't know. Okay. The only thing I know is that towards the end of the season, the Cardinals GM left for health reasons and then as like officially resigned.
Oh, okay.
So now they have another GM working there or whatever. I don't know. I'd have to look that up. But whatever the reason, I'll tell you what, man. You do not want to. The Cardinals right now, if they had a mulligan, they would not have done that contract with Kyler Murray. So I see agree. Some of these contracts out there that aren't even fully guaranteed. Like I'm looking at the Browns now. I bet you the Browns wish they hadn't done it in the first place and started this whole fucking problem.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, like Lamar has to understand, like that is an outlier. That's not collusion. This isn't some big conspiracy to say "fuck you, Lamar." This is just we are not giving guaranteed contracts. The NFL is not going to do guaranteed contracts, fully guaranteed contracts, whatever. So work from there and see, what you can get, where you're going, what you're worth. And if you still don't like that, then see if somebody will pick you up with the fucking non-exclusive franchise tag. See if somebody will pay it. See if you get a bidding war for you, which is he's basically a free agent at this point.
Yeah.
He's a restricted free agent is really what it is.
I think what's going to happen in the end, I think him, Lamar, and the Ravens will come to an agreement of, listen, let me I'll sign the 1 year franchise tag. Just agree not to tag me next year so we could go our separate ways.
No, because there's no guarantee of that. There's zero guarantee of that.
I'm sure they could.
And again, he's not an agent. He's not a lawyer. So they can put something out there for him to sign and say, sure, we won't do that. And he'd sign it, and it's like, oh, but see, the problem is that you didn't read subsection 14 of paragraph 3 of the second page that says, actually, if this and this and this occurred and the sun was shining on the 14th of June, that actually we can go ahead and franchise tag you again and do it. Like, no, this franchise tag, the tag that they put on him was done because the Ravens aren't signing him. Lamar doesn't want to play for the Ravens anymore.
Yeah.
He wants his money and fully guaranteed or whatever it is. And now whether another NFL team will give him that fully guaranteed, again, I don't think any NFL team is going to get him fully guaranteed. I think somebody will vastly overpay for him. Somebody's going to have to give up a lot. And here's the other thing, too. The other team, they don't have to give up 2 first rounders.
They have to give up something, though, don't they?
No, they don't. Like they can talk to the team and come to an agreement to do so. But because there was this idea that if he's on that tag, well then you have to automatically give up 2 first round. No, you don't. You can come up and say this is going to be the offer for him, and this is what we'll give you, and they can go like, this or this or blah blah blah, and it's like okay, and then you all work that out anyway, and then it's like okay, good, done, deal it up. Then he goes, they get whatever they get. And that is what it is. So at the end of the day, like this idea that a team is going to have to pay Lamar plus give up the first 2 rounders, that's not the case.
Yeah.
They will give up something, whether it's a player, whether it's assets, whatever the case is. But like this isn't as
I always thought it was like set in stone. Once you sign this player and the other team agrees not to match the offer, you have to send what the rules say.
No. It's you can work it out with the team before anything else is said and done.
Okay.
And then it's like, okay, that's done. He can sign the tender. They can say, all right, we're not matching it. This is what we agreed to. And that all goes to the NFL offices. The NFL says, okay, puts their stamp on it, and then it's done. It's almost like anything else. It literally is. It's like free agency with extra steps.
Yeah.
It's free agency with a little extra compensation. Oh, okay, so you get this and you get that. Like they don't have to do. Now the Ravens might dig their heels in and say, "We want 2 first pick. We want 2 first rounders. That's it."
Yeah.
And say that's that. I don't know if they'll do that. Because then again, I don't know how much you're going to have with somebody wanting to pay as much as they're going to have to pay for Lamar and get that. But I don't think Lamar's getting fully guaranteed.
No, I mean, other than Deshaun, the other top tier quarterbacks, they probably only got probably 50, 75% guaranteed.
He may get like a $250 million contract with $200 million guaranteed.
Yeah.
But he's not going to get all 250 guaranteed. Like he's not getting a fully guaranteed contract.
Yeah.
That Deshaun Watson one is going to be a one-off, and the NFL and the NFL owners are going to make sure of that. That's not collusion.
That's just being smart businessmen.
People want to say like that's collusion. That's not collusion. That does not fall under any definition of collusion. That's just every owner realizing that's terrible business. We're not going to do that. How do we know that's terrible business? Look at the fucking Browns.
Yeah.
That's how we know. Look at even the stuff that's even close to being guaranteed. Like I brought up with Kyler Murray. That's terrible fucking business. Because the Cardinals, 2 years ago, the Cardinals are almost following the Texans' game plan of being very good, almost great, and now they are a fucking dumpster fire.
Yeah.
That they're going to have to be built out of from being underneath Kyler Murray, which is weird because Kyler Murray's only, 4'12" or whatever the fuck he is, 4'11". 4'12" would be 5 foot. I'm an idiot.
And
but still,
they have an awesome head coach to build around too.
Who is their coach again? I don't even know.
Gannon. Eagles.
Oh, the
DC.
former. Oh God, that's even worse.
I really think he just got hired just as a place.
Like he's a transitional coach. Yeah, he's transitional.
Just till they get out from underneath this Kyler Murray contract and
until they can find something else, until they can do something else there. Yeah. He's almost like a Lovie Smith was for the Texans. He's basically go out there, whatever happens, but good luck.
Make sure you don't lose us the first overall draft pick though.
God bless Lovie. Well, here's the thing. The problem was that you let it be known that Lovie was going to be fired at the end of the season.
Yeah.
So Lovie was like, I'm going to do everything I can. Oh, there's no time left. Oh, we're going to do a fucking 4th and whatever, Hail Mary, touchdown, actually caught it good. Oh, okay, well, we could just kick the field goal. And no, fuck it, 2-point conversion. We're going for the fucking win. Fuck overtime. We're doing it now. And good for Lovie. Good for him. Fuck the Texans.
I'm surprised he didn't get picked up by anybody. Even just as like a advisor or something
Lovie
like that.
Smith's not a good coach. Bottom line.
No, head coach. No, he's not. But he's a hell of a.
No, he's a very good coordinator, and that's it. Some coaches are just that. They're very good coordinators, not great head coaches. And I think Lovie Smith is one of those. But we'll see. We'll see what happens. But still a lot. Pardon me. Still a lot going down. Let me see if anything else has broken. While we've been here on the air.
Yeah, I've been trying to get some of the channels to work down here in the Stay Tuned Sports studios, but not very good connection.
Let's see. No.
How about the other rumor was
allegedly Adam Thielen is speaking with the Kansas City Chiefs.
That was the other rumor I heard before we came on. Now, some upper-tiered free agent wide receivers have been calling Patrick Mahomes to help put a word in for them to get them to come to Kansas City.
This is coming from Evan Massey on Twitter. This is per sources. The Chiefs and Adam Thielen have discussed a potential deal. Plenty of other suitors are interested, but Kansas City is a real team to watch. And listen, you talk about a team that's been to 5 straight AFC championship games at home. They've been to 3 Super Bowls, 1, 2. So you're talking 5, 3, 2. That's a pretty good fucking ratio of winning. And a half a decade of home championship games. That's something. 3 Super Bowls and 2 and 1 in those Super Bowls.
Yeah.
Listen, I'll take a pay cut to get a ring. That you're always gonna be attracting that kind of player, solid veteran play. Even some of the younger kids, I think, would go be like, listen, I will take a pay cut. I will not ask for as much as I can to go and be able to play with a Patrick Mahomes, with a Travis Kelce, with all of that, talent and the coaching there. And again, Andy Reid is beloved across the NFL. So it wouldn't surprise me to see Adam Thielen with the Chiefs, and it would piss me the fuck off because I'm just can somebody else get fucking some players here? Come on. That's just all we need, the Chiefs to get fucking better. Get the fuck out of here.
Yeah, so
Christ.
Howie, start doing something, okay?
What a change from the start of this episode. What a change. Oh, you gotta stop hounding Howie. That's how we fucked up the last time. But the Giants got Darren Waller. Fuck Howie. What are we fucking doing here, boy? Come on, gotta go. Hey, get the cheesesteak out of your ass. Let's go.
I'll tell you what, the only before the illegal tampering thing kicked off, I was okay with Miles Sanders walking because of what he was potentially asking for. But now I want to see Howie sign CJ Gardner. And so with the running back class, free agency class, not really bringing the money in that they thought they were going to bring in, pretty sure he could get Miles for a discount. So they're the only two players I really want to see Howie go after right now. So come on, Howie, get it done now.
Let's go, Howie. Actually, I'm fine with Howie doing whatever the hell he is doing.
Of course you are. Just
stay right there.
People are just jumping ship and no one's coming on ship.
I'm scrolling through Twitter right now, just trying to get any more updates here.
Okay.
See if there's anything else that's happening.
How funny will it be, though? So free agency starts Wednesday, 12 o'clock, whatever time it would be. How funny would it be if it's 12:01 and Aaron Rodgers goes, no, I'm just going to retire. And just like...
That can always happen, too, but that's the other thing, to imagine what do the Jets do then? Because now Mike White's gone, too. Mike White's with the Dolphins now. So they don't even have Mike White as a backup.
Which was... That move there, I put up there with the Tyler Heineke, too. Like, you can't let that guy go. Because he is a good backup.
He's a fantastic backup, and with Tua, having the skull of an egg, easily cracked.
No, he's learning.
Having a solid backup that isn't, incapable of playing NFL football is you got to make sure you have an insurance policy there. Mike White, I think, is a perfect pickup for. Mike White is the definition of having a backup quarterback that's solid enough. That no, he's not going to challenge for the starting spot, but if you have to plug him in, he will. The players like him, players will play for him, and he's good enough to win games.
But Tua's going to make the whole year because he's learning judo of how to take falls now. So
I saw that he's taking the lessons on how to actually fall, which is fine. Yeah, no. Rule 1: don't land on the top of your fucking dome. Don't do that. Let's try that.
Hopefully he's not taking lessons from the actor. Oh, Jesus Christ. Seagal, yeah.
That fucking Russian traitor piece of shit. And just terrible. Listen, say what you want about him being Russian or, going over there and sucking Putin's dick or whatever the fuck else he's doing. Just in general, he's a terrible human being.
Yeah, he is.
Steven Seagal made one good movie his entire fucking life, and that was Under Siege. That was a great flick. I still think that's great, but I think that's great also because of Tommy Lee Jones and Erica Eleniak's tits.
Well, he had a good reality show when he was a Jacksonville sheriff.
Oh, it wasn't it was like somewhere in fucking Alabama or Louisiana, somewhere like that. Yeah, where some kind of sheriff or something.
Let me talk to you, son. You can't be doing this stuff.
He was still fat. He uses that fucking kiwi fucking shoe black in his hair. Like what are you doing? And he was doing that shit fucking 30 years ago. People talk about the fucking the Tom Arnold story about him is funny as hell. They were doing Cradle to the Grave. That was it. The one with DMX.
Yeah.
And he said they were doing a scene where like they're on some kind of like boat and there's about to be this big fight scene and they're like, okay, well let's everybody, let's do a run through and set everything up so we get the blocking right and all that kind of stuff. And Seagal was like, no, man, we're doing it now. And the director's like, no, we have to like make sure we have all the safety stuff and make sure that the cameras are blocked right and make sure that all, nah, man, I do one take. Let's go. We're doing it now. And so they're like, all right, start rolling. And they start rolling it and they do the scene. And then they see him and he's getting ready to go towards, like he walks, what he's supposed to do is he walks out of the boat, out of a door that's in the cabin of the boat and goes out to the deck of the boat and starts fighting everybody, stuff like that. Well, he's going towards the wrong door.
Oh, Jesus.
And then like all the actors see him doing that and they look at the director and the director just shakes his head. Nah, don't say anything. And so he opens the door and immediately falls into the ocean, just right into the water.
I never heard that one before.
He gets up, he's out of the water, like people are trying to get him, and the fucking black fucking hair dye that he has in his head is just dripping all over his face and all down him like a fucking oil slick. And it's just like, what a fucking piece of shit. Like he's just like, just in general as a human being, he's a piece of shit. So Under Siege though, great flick. Great flick. Erica Eleniak, underrated 90s tits. She was really great tits on. She has not aged well, but that's fine. You know, listen, none of us have. We're old as shit. Anyway,
look at me and you.
I know. That's what I mean. I don't know. I still got the baby face. I'm still looking pretty good. Like, but you know, otherwise, I'm pretty shitty. You know, I got the fat gut and all that other kind of shit. But face wise, man, I'm still pretty. I am still pretty.
Any other updates?
I don't know where we were going. Not that I see. I think that Darren Waller thing is the last thing I saw. I'm trying to see if there's anything on Aaron Rodgers. I'm trying to see what the latest is with that. Just right now on Twitter, it's just people still making fun of him and his darkness retreat for some reason. People thought he was going to announce today on McAfee's show, and he did not. McAfee let it be known that he wasn't going to be on, and that McAfee doesn't know anything, which I think is bullshit. But
yeah, he definitely knows something. But
McAfee knows exactly what the fuck.
I mean, he's been in the business before, so he knows he has to keep his mouth shut.
The only thing that makes me think that he doesn't is the fact that he does always say, like, listen, the reason I don't have people, like, the reason I make sure to tell people not to tell me anything is because if they did, I'm a fucking blabbermouth and I'll fucking say it immediately. So that's the only thing that lets me, that has me pause and think maybe he doesn't know everything that's going on. But I don't know. I think he know. I think he knows. I think he knows what's going on. But yeah, I don't see anything else.
Oh, here's a little
as of now. So
here's a little tidbit to your Darren Waller. The draft pick that the Giants got from the Chiefs for Kadarius Toney.
Kadarius Toney is what we got him. Yeah, so we turned Kadarius Toney into Darren Waller, and we still have the 6th round pick from that trade too. So
now I'll laugh if Darren Waller's shit next year, and I'll be like, Darren Waller's Kadarius Toney. Kadarius Toney's Darren Waller. It's like,
no, Darren Waller's not going to have a shit year next year because he's going to have a fantastic quarterback throwing him the ball.
Overpaid quarterback, but you know, another segment, another time.
He ain't Danny Dimes, motherfucker. He's Danny Dollars now. Let's go. Dollar bills.
Anything else we want to talk about? Bring up?
I think that's it. Well, here's the only thing about Daniel Jones that I'll finish on this is, yeah, he got the money, and some people may think he was overpaid, underpaid, you know, whatever the case is. He has to, because it's essentially a 2-year contract.
Yeah,
it's technically 4 years, but you know the Giants can get out in 2. He can get out in 2, which is probably up depending on how it goes. You know, and only the $84 million I think is guaranteed or whatever it is. So, and the incentives. So it's basically a 2-year. He's getting $40 million a year. This is still a show me thing. He still has to play now, and he has to play as a $40 million a year quarterback. And if he doesn't, he's fucked.
Yeah.
So, and that's the thing is like, that's why I said to you when he signed that deal and that came out, and I was like, okay, I'm glad we got him. I'm actually okay with the price that we got him at, is what he was kind of asking for. I'm okay with that. I said, but now he has to have a season where He is the reason we win games. He can't have mistakes. He can't have turnovers, which, again, he didn't have any really last year. He did a great job last year, minimizing mistakes, minimizing turnovers, and not really having any weapons.
Yeah.
Now, we've started that process where we've gotten Darren Waller. That's a huge pickup. That's good in getting some weapons there, some extra safety nets. That's a great safety plug where you don't have to always look at, okay, is Shepard open? Oh, is Hodges open? All right, then I better run for my fucking life,
Yeah.
Now it's like, okay, who's open? And who knows who else we get as far as wide receivers or weapons go. But even so, if you look at that and it's just like, oh, check. Okay, let's look at safety valve. Where's Waller? And he's usually super dependable. So as long as he's there and he's dependable and Daniel Jones doesn't fuck up, I think Daniel Jones is going to have a good year.
Yeah.
And be worth that money. And that's the thing, though. That's the Giants' base right now is making the playoffs and winning a game. Divisional round. We have to make divisional round or better. That's our base now. That's the thing about overperforming last year is like, wow, what a surprise. That was great. I can't believe the Giants actually won a playoff game. I can't believe the Giants made the playoffs, to be honest. But there we are. But now we're going into this year. Okay, well, now we have a $40 million a year quarterback, and we made the playoffs and won a playoff game last year. That's our base. Do better.
Yeah.
Expectations are now up. So let's see. And now, especially if you have the Jets picking up Aaron Rodgers and are going to be an immediate top 3, top 4 Super Bowl favorite. Well, now you're fighting not only just Giants fans, now you're fighting the New York press. You're fighting to get on the back page of the Daily News and the New York Post. You're fighting to be relevant in your own city.
Yeah.
You got to perform. You have to be able to go. So
we'll see. See if he
say what you
can.
Say what you want about the contract, but now it's time to perform. And I think he will. I think he's shown that he's good. He's one of the best running quarterbacks in the game. That's been proven. I mean, just by if you want to look at his betting, if you want as sure of a bet as anything, always pick Danny Dimes in the over for his rushing yards. Always. You'll never lose. You will never lose a bet.
I'll have to remember that for next season.
That's it. FanDuel, baby, or DraftKings in their case.
Yeah.
One of you sponsor us.
I mean, we put a lot of money into you guys. Well.
Yes, and we never get anything
back.
We're terrible at fucking betting. But still, come on. Let's go, boys. Get us a sponsorship deal.
I think that's going to be it for us this week. Yeah.
Free agency episode. It was nice.
Yeah. So until next week, this is your good friend Jimbo.
And it's your boy King.
See ya.